happening, my friends? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. My friends, it is yet another day. Thank you so much, as always, for taking time out of your busy schedule to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. As I mentioned many of times, uh, you can do so many other things with your precious time. With your free time, you can be chilling, you can be taking a nap, you can be binge watching some of your favorite shows, you can be, I don't know, enjoying family and friends. But for those that says, hey, look, let me check out, see what Arrington got in store for us today. Let me check out his latest episode, and I just want to say thank you. We're continuing to get the hang of, well, we should. It's been well over 200 episodes, but we continue to pour out great content for you all, just something for y'all to just kick back and listen to. um I want to make it fun, but also informative at the same time. We have the conversations I call basement talk. For those who are, you know, live more up north, in basements, you either in your basement, you either have your man cave, your lady lair, your bar. Whenever you have company over, friends, you gather down, kick back, chillax, and just have a conversation. And that's what we're having here on the show, is just a conversation. And on today's conversations, my friends, I'm going to finish up part two of Love from Afar. That's what I call the segment, Love from Afar. And that was the story about actress Sheryl Lee Ralph, Emmy winning actress Sheryl Lee Ralph, and her husband Vincent Hughes, having a almost 20-year marriage, living in two separate states, really in two different coasts. But they're making it, they've made it work for this long. And we should take advice, my friends. We should take advice on this. I think it's so remarkable and so unique. Society would say, oh, this relationship will never work, but here on this program, we're all about pushing out, changing the narrative. And so I think this story, this conversation, is really, really impactful for those who struggle with long distance relationships, and those who happen to be just struggling in a relationship right now, or marriage, and it's like, oh man, you're cramming up my space, I need to get away from you. And just, you know I know I can assume they've had some issues and complications, but they made it work. So I hope y'all can, take notes after I share this story. Also, me being a wrestling head, we know that the start of the 2024 year, Netflix had gained a very popular show that moved exclusively to their platform, and that was WWE Monday Night Raw. Okay, Raw. It's one of their oldest, one of World Wrestling Entertainment's oldest shows that has mostly been aired. Excuse me, on the USA Network, cable television network, and it made the announcement that it was moving to a streaming service platform to give more of an unfiltered take on it, and which it wasn't too unfiltered. I mean, they let a few, let some words slide. Obviously, it's Netflix, it's a streaming platform, but they got a great new facelift, and they had some great. The debut episode had some great surprises, a great opening, and but also some shocking incidents that occurred. And so I'll talk a little more about that later on in the program. Also, a very popular actor, philanthropist, I can't even say the word philanthropist, hip hop artist Lupe Fiasco just started a new position. I'll share what that new position is, and a couple other stories. One that occurred in my hometown of Hampton Roads, Virginia, and then also another. Just actually got one story discussing politics. So look, we're gonna get it going. We're gonna dive deep as we do always. But before I do so, I always have to acknowledge some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Bernardo's Menswear. That's right, my friends. Now this is all for the gentlemen out there. Attention, attention, gentlemen, it's time to elevate your wardrobe. At Bernardo's Menswear, they believe style isn't just about clothes, it's about making a statement. From tailored suits that fit like a dream to casual essentials that define effortless sophistication, Bernardo's has it all. Weddings, interviews, or a night out on the town, they've got you covered. So do me a favor, visit Bernardo's Menswear today. First, because your first impression matters. That was a long pause when I said that, right? You didn't know what I was thinking. Because it does, y'all. Your first impression, it matters. Styles yours with us. That's right. Bernardo's Menswear. For more information, you can visit his website at www.bernardosmenswear.com. He also has a store location located in Norfolk, Virginia. So if you happen to be in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area, check out his store location at MacArthur Mall, first floor, located in the downtown, the heart of downtown Norfolk. Tell him that Arrington sent you. I am a huge advocate for Bernardo Menswear. I have plenty of clothing, accessories, shoes, you name it, because me being a man that's always kind of like at public events, I'm an entrepreneur as well, business owner. So my appearance is everything. When it comes to networking events, I want to make sure my appearance is everything. It's a part of my brand. And I highly recommend those who are thinking about starting to invest in themselves. Look, you got to make sure you start seeing what's going on in your closet. So that's why I highly recommend Bernardo's Menswear. And I want to thank them for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin Show. So we, my friends, are going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We have a lot more in store for you on today's show. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your guy, Arrington Gavin. Again, be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show and all of our social media platforms. Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show. What else do we have? X, formerly known as Twitter, Blue Sky at the Arrington Gavin Show, as well as on Substack. Okay, Substack at the Arrington Gavin Show. I have a great time just kind of whatever's on the top of the dome. I shared it on Substack. Great pieces. And I just, it's like my Dear Diary kind of thing, but out to the public. So be sure to check out the Arrington Gavin Show on Substack. I truly appreciate that. All right, my friends, let's get it going with with our tradition we like to do here on the show. I call it Fun Fact of the Day. So on today's Fun Fact, did you know that the sea slug can grow a new body if its head is chopped off? Yuck. All right. That is, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that. That is our fun fact of the day. I like doing random fun facts. Don't you judge me. Don't you judge me. All right. As I mentioned earlier, I want to do a part two of the Love from Afar segment, um, talking about the one and only actress Sheryl Ralph, sharing about her relationship with her husband, excuse me, Pennsylvania state senator, well, out of the Philadelphia area, Pennsylvania State Senator Vincent Hughes. They're going on 20 years, and they live in two separate states, two different coasts. They don't live together. Let me share this soundbite with you all, and we'll talk on the other side about it.
I'm very fortunate. The man that I am married to, Senator Vincent Hughes, 7th Senatorial District of Philadelphia, he has his own life. I have my own life. He has his own real career. I have my own real career. He has his light to stand in. I have my light to stand in. So he is not looking at me thinking about status or this or that. He's doing his thing. I get to do my thing. We also live in separate places. When I go to see him, love to see him. When it's time to leave, bye-bye, see you soon. I'm telling you, life is good. Perfect.
Let me stop it right there. Um, I think that is awesome. For one, I think I just for one, you gotta love Shirley Ralph. If you have any dislike towards Shirley Ralph, then something is wrong with you. Let me tell you something. Shirley Ralph is a national treasure. All right, not an American treasure, a national treasure. She is one of the original Dream Girls. All right, you hear me? She is one of the original Dream Girls. She, a lot of y'all might know her as the stepmom on Moesha, Brandy, Brandy Norwood's very popular and iconic sitcom. And but she's also an Emmy award-winning actress from the hit TV show Abbott Elementary, a show that my wife and I adore. We always, whenever we have some free time, we we tune into new episodes, and she's just awesome. I've always, she's someone that if the Lord ever gets me to that pinnacle of, I guess, A-list stars, she's one of the ones I would love to have as a friend or a neighbor. You know what I mean? Like, she's just so sweet, down to earth, very passionate, activist. Um, so many. This is for those who are watching. This is a picture of her and her husband, Vincent Hughes, against Pennsylvania state senator, and what she shared in that soundbite, y'all. She was like, "I have my life, he has his. I have my light, so does he. We visit each other on on a regular. Hello, it's a beautiful when we rekindle, we stay in contact, this and any other. But guess what? We both have our lives. I love this, and I low key wish this was a normal thing. And I adore the grounds my wife walks on, right? And we don't, we dated. We did a long distance relationship while we were dating, and a little bit when we were engaged. Um, she travels time to time here and there on like work conferences. So do I. Um, but we've never, we've always said, if we had this money, that money, this money, if you get a job here, how will we make this, work, right? And we've always, you never know what the future holds when job opportunity occurs, and it's just like, oh, well, I really, it'll be difficult for me to, leave here that I've invested in this area, likewise hers, and it can get struggle. A lot of stuff like that can actually break relationships because then two people can't last. Okay, long distance. Why? Because look, temptation starts occurring. This is a word that involves a lot of temptations. Whether it's oh, I haven't touched my spouse in forever because we live long distance, or I can't just do the FaceTime relationship, or the this and any other, and it's just temptation kicks in. But what this is the power of trust, love, and trust and honesty. 20 years, first of all, black excellence. They look amazing, by the way. I mean, both of them. I mean, skin is flawless. They're aging backwards. Um, but they are individuals that are each other's biggest cheerleaders. No one is better than the other. But as she said, we have our lives, we have our jobs that we are committed to, but we also are committed to each other. Let me read you this article in Contents report about People magazine. And this it says here they may live thousands of miles away, um, but they have been on the same page for decades. Sheryl Ralph, 69 years old. Wow. Opens up to People magazine about her and her husband's love story, including their non-traditional living arrangement, which has worked out wonderfully for them for nearly 2 decades now. 4 years after her divorce from, first husband Eric Maurice, with whom she shares 2 adult children with, Ralph found love again in 2005 with Hughes. The two met while she was starring in Thoroughly Modern Millie on Broadway, and they were smitten, says, but separable from the start. Separable, from the start. She says here, I'm very fortunate. The man that I am married to is Senator Vincent Hughes, 7th Senatorial District of Pennsylvania. That she said, you fall in love with somebody and you realize he's not leaving his career. He's not leaving Philadelphia. I'm not leaving Hollywood. And she explains, when you have children, it's very difficult. Again, they were together with their own lives. She already had children, growing up in California on the West Coast. He had children and he had a family, or children, and a life on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. In the beginning, they found a solution that has endured. Every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, yeah, we saw each other, and it has continued to work out well. Wow, every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. Wow. Not weekly, every 2 weeks. When I go to see him, I love to see him. When it's time to leave, I say bye-bye, see you soon. I'm telling you, life is good every 2 weeks, y'all. And they've made that happen for almost 20 years. Whew. Wow. That is really awesome. I really, that is really awesome. And I guess the more spark, I mean, that really, I guess that really does help the relationship, because here's the thing. It's the reason why in households you have your man cave, you have your lady lair, because at some points you just need your time to yourself, right? There's no disrespect to your spouses, but it's like sometimes you just need your time. I always tell my wife, look, I love you. I love you, but you need your time. I need my time to just chill, be in our zone, be in our comfort zone, just decompress. We can't always be clingy all the time, like the puppy dog stage we were when we were like in college, right? That stuff eventually starts to gets old and it gets annoying. It's like, oh my gosh, can I give me some space, this and then the other. So I think this is awesome. And I'm the question I want to share, I want to give y'all is, do you think this should be the new norm? Do you think this should be spewed out to, or put out in the universe to most up and coming relationships, marriages? Do you think there should be a, you know on the table, or does it just depend on the people? It's up to them. Like, what do you suggest? What's your thoughts on this? Please leave us a comment. I truly appreciate that. I'm gonna digress and move on to the next story, but I just really wanted to continue this one because I mentioned it on the last show. Didn't have time because it was towards the end, and I wanted to make sure I give it a good another good round on this show. So let me go ahead and digress, move it on to another one that I was dying to talk about. Me being a wrestling fanatic, I had to discuss the recent incident that occurred on the premiere of WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix. And so I don't know if a lot of y'all watched it, but look, for you wrestling heads out there, oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it was wrestling's biggest night. At that time, it was a huge transition. It was a it was an adjustment. It was really, a plus for Netflix because wrestling has grown to be a and I do mean multi-billion-dollar industry. All right, multi-billion-dollar. It wouldn't surprise me if it hits the trillions pretty soon. It is a world wrestling entertainment is a mecca in this current state. I mean, when they sell out internationally, I'm talking Dubai, France. They used to do WrestleMania one night. Now they do 2 nights in a row, and they sell out stadiums. I mean, football stadiums like it's nothing. You have a new man in charge now. Vincent Can't Even Man is no longer in charge. He's had some issues with allegations and this and that and the other. So, and he's getting a lot older. So it's obviously time for new leadership. That man is by the name of Triple H, which is government name is Paul Levesque. He has been a iconic, really a legend in wrestling since he started his career. He has really changed the game. No pun intended to his nickname, the Game, but he has really changed the game. When he opened the premiere, it was amazing. It was great atmosphere, great feedback from the crowd. Obviously, it went crazy on social media. Twitter was going ham, but what they were talking about the most was a legend that made his return, to make an appearance, guest appearance, and he got the reaction that he really wasn't. He really was surprised to get, and that was Hulk Hogan, the immortal Hulk Hogan. Let me tell you something, brother. Ripping off the shirt, 24-inch pythons, the long blonde hair. Hulk Hogan was the man. I remember, and during my youth years, every time Hulk Hogan would make a return, man, the crowd went wild. It was the Hulkster, Hulkamaniacs. It was him. When it comes to wrestlers that has their name has garnered such a huge career status, that's literally like their retirement, has been Ric Flair, obviously. Woo, Ric Flair. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Hulk Hogan. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan. They're really, when you have like your top 5 or at least top 10 of Mount Rushmores for wrestlers, Hulk Hogan, it would be crazy not to have him up there. Hulk Hogan really, really was a huge star. And still to some still is, but obviously now he has been involved, he's been caught up in some scandals, as well as, in the political scene, he was not very liked because he backed and supported and was very, very, very very, very a huge advocate for Donald Trump. He spoke at the controversial event held at the Madison Square Garden. He even did his, the Trump dance. I mean, he loves him some Donald Trump. So it really kind of rubbed people, the wrong way. Let me play you the soundbite of a clip where it showed the crowd. If you can hear closely, you can hear the booing in the background, and yeah, we'll talk on the other side on that one.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You know something, maniacs? I've been in this business for over 40 years, and the greatest part of my life was being part of this great WWE, guys.
And so a little choppy, right? A little mixed reviews. So many folks, they were showing different angles. It was people having the thumbs down. Now, remember, I told you politically, he's very Republican. He supported Donald Trump. Huge fan of him, love him to death. Like I said, he did the dance and everything. Um, this premiere was in Los Angeles, California. Blue down the board. Very liberal city. They don't like Trump. And anybody that supports him, you're getting booed. And in all honesty, he deserved it. He deserved it because he's also gotten in some trouble. I think there was audio a clip of him not recently, but a while back, where he used a racial slur, and a lot of people can't. Hey, it's hard to forgive that. It is hard to forgive that. So that right there was like a shocker to me. I was like, oh my gosh, would you ever think? And it was funny because Jimmy Hart, which was, his right hand guy during his career, is in the back still just waving the flag. He's like, ooh, this is a tough crowd right here. This is a tough crowd right here. He's like, let me just keep on waving this and mind my business. Cause it was not the response that that Hulk Hogan, that the Hulkster wanted. But hey, it's reality, and he got to be aware of it, right? He can't just assume, he can't just think that, oh, everybody's gonna love me, I'm the Hulkster, come on. Oh, my diehard the wrestling fans, they're gonna understand. Nope. Did it sound like they understand, Hulk? Now let me play you this what Hall of Famer, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry had to say in response to this to the whole Trump getting booed. Because Mark Henry also, I think he's a co-host. He also a program, or he's a regular on a Sirius XM show called Busted Open, along with Bully Ray, who's from the iconic Hall of Famers, the Dudley Boys, and they have another co-host who's just an avid wrestling junkie like myself. Okay, so here's what Mark Henry had to say about that.
One thing that stood out that people were talking about was the universe's reaction to Hulk Hogan. You surprised to see the Hulkster, one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time, get booed a little bit in Los Angeles?
I mean, that's arguable. Anytime that you consider the Mount Rushmore in the top 10 of wrestling all time, Hogan is always going to be in that top 10. But right now, with the social climate and the things that he said and done, and his lack of effort to try to fix it, people are going to come down on him. I never had an issue with him before I heard all of the stuff. And even then, I believe in giving second chances. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a fix-it person. I'm not going to dwell on the negative. I'm not going to talk about the past. We're going forward. And he never wanted to go forward and fix it. So, that's what happens when you think that everything is going to go away. It's not going to go away.
We've talked in the past about that and his history. Have you ever talked to him about it, or no? He's just kind of let it go away.
No, he thinks it's going to go away. That it's not going to be that dark cloud over his career. I have not said, I offered to say, hey, let's do a tour of the black colleges, law schools, and explain what happened. He didn't want to do that.
One thing that stood out.
So that right there, I thought was for one, a very important thing that Mark Henry brought up, and what a just a class act dude. I mean, you could just tell, very humble guy, being very respectful, respecting the seniority that Hulk Hogan has, especially in the wrestling world. That's just from one wrestler to another. what Mark Henry just did to say, hey, look, I'm not going to bash the guy. I'm not going to bring, keep it a dark cloud over his head. No, I mean, I understand. But he gave him his honest opinion on it and said, look, um, he did some bad things in the past, and I tried to help him, rekindle that relationship between the black community and yourself. And he said he doesn't want to do it. And see, that's the issue right there, y'all. For me, is folks that criticize, um, for example, like diversity, equity, and inclusion, that criticize the fact that why do you always have to bring in race into this? Those who have an issue when people showcase the first ever this or the first ever that, those exact people are the ones that refuse to do better with themselves and learn about different cultures, because to them they're like, why do I need to learn about it? Because first of all, the world we live in is a universal society. I don't know how many times I need to say it. The United States is not just a one race country. It's a melting pot. You have so many cultures. That's the norm. That has always been the norm. But people out there want to say they're the only race. They're the only race that are the most dominant and the important one. So why care about what other people think? No. What Mark is saying, look, Hope, you made a mistake. And in order for you to grow as a person, this is the work you need to put in. You got to put in that work. You got to put in that knowledge. The more you know, the more you grow. But the fact that you're refusing it tells me, Hope, that tells me your true colors, boss. And it hurts me to say that because hey, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and if I ever have the opportunity, I mean, it will be an honor to say, oh wow, I met Hulk Hogan. I'll be honest, I would be like, oh snap, that's Hulk Hogan. I would love to get a picture with him. But it's just like it's a back and forth though, because it's like, bro, what are your true values? What are your true colors? Like, how do you what's your take on Black Americans, African Americans, people of color? Like, what's your take? Um, a person that had commented of from what left a comment to the show made up a good point. He was saying a good point. Not only was it his political stance that he was probably getting booed from, but if you watch the documentary, I think it was called McMahon or Vince McMahon or something. It was on Netflix. I think it was called just McMahon. Um, Back in the day, there were wrestlers that might have didn't care for Vince, or just you have your locker room, what stays in the locker room, was said in the locker room stays in the locker room kind of conversations, right? You don't want it to spread out to the executives. There was a guy that used to snitch on those wrestlers to higher ups. That person was Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan also uh blatantly lied to the public about never taking steroids, which he did. All right. Um, and he said that publicly. Matter of fact, I think he was on the Arsenio Hall show back then when he lied about his steroid use. Um, he there were wrestlers, y'all, that were wanted to wanted to start a union. That's what it was. That's what it was. Oh God, what was his name? He was a former governor in Minnesota. Jesse the Body Ventura. There we go. Jesse wanted to start a union because he's like, look, you guys need health care, man. We're out here traveling this amount of days, this amount of weeks, putting this impact on our body. We're really taking a toll. We need proper health care. We should start a union. Oh, who snitches and says, hey, look, Vince, you know, might want to get a heads up because wrestlers plan to get a health care during their time frame. Um, you know, that was a pretty, I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but that was just a low blow um move on Hulk's behalf. Like he was just so loyal. He was kissing the ring of his superior. Hence why it would have surprised me the fact that he's a Trump supporter. Sorry, just putting it out there. Um the gentleman said one of the biggest childhood disappointments. I mean, It truly is. It truly is. When you hear the stuff that occurred about this guy. So yeah, my friends, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We have a lot more here on the Arrington Gavin Show, so do not go anywhere. Do not change that dial. We will come right back after this short break.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
What is happening, my friends? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, we got some more great stories here, so thank you so much for staying with us. The one and only Lupe Fiasco. Uh famous hip-hop star, musician, actor. What else is Lupe? Philanthropist. He's all around renaissance man, like most artists out there. I mean, just a little bit of everything. And so it was recently announced that he would be joining the staff of Johns Hopkins University. That's right, my friends. Lupe Fiasco is officially a university college professor. It says here that he will join Johns Hopkins University, Peabody Institute, as a distinguished visiting professor, because Johns Hopkins recently announced that they're launching nation's first hip hop bachelor's program, which I think is pretty interesting. I think that's pretty cool. This is not like the first unique story hearing about a university starting a new program. Not I can't recall the lady's name who's a reality star, but she's also a physician. But she is gonna be a professor at a university. I think teaching a program talking about like reality television or something, which I thought was interesting. I mean, I'm not a fan of reality TV, but hey, I like how universities are being very versatile, opening up their wide variety because they're leaning towards the times, right? They're like, okay, what is realistic stuff happening in our society? What is stuff that's really lucrative that can garner huge careers? Boom, reality television, as well as hip hop, the hip hop genre, music, how historic it is, and how impactful it is to our culture. This is reported by Fox 5 in Washington D.C. and says here that the Grammy-winning rapper Lupe Fiasco is taking his talents to Johns Hopkins University's Peabody Institute, joining the faculty as a distinguished visiting professor in the fall of 2025. He will teach rap as part of the Institute's groundbreaking new Bachelor of Music in Hip Hop, the first performance degree of its kind in the United States. Now, the announcement shared on Instagram that Fiasco, who is 42, expressed his enthusiasm for the role. I quote, says here, I'm honored to contribute to the legacy doing what I love most, rap, adding that he will continue teaching at MIT and pursuing his fellowship at Yale while working at Peabody. I mean, go ahead, Lupe. Shoot, y'all. Hey, y'all need to stop judge. Y'all need to stop judging artists. I'm telling you, some of the most smartest individuals out there in the land. Um, to continue this, it says here that the innovative 4-year hip hop degree program designed by award winning composer and producer Wendell Patrick blends rigorous performance training with Peabody's breakthrough curriculum, which develops business and career skills. Students will also explore hip hop's culture history, hip hop cultural history, its socio-political roots, and its evolution as a global genre, according to the school's website. Now, Lupe Fiasco, known for his chart-topping albums and intricate lyricism, emphasized the focus of his courses in an interview with John Hopkins, The Hub. Another quote I'm reading here says, I don't teach hip hop. My classes are purely the techniques and skill set involved in rap. That requires an understanding of the canon from different eras, different rappers, and different styles, in addition to your own. The program follows a conservatory model where students engage in one-on-one instruction tailored to their major. Inspiring rappers will learn directly from seasoned MCs like Fiasco, while turntable majors will study with professional DJs. I would love to learn how to DJ, especially in college. Talk about a fun course. Fiasco's role will extend beyond teaching. He's expected to host public master classes, consult on the program's development, and contribute to the broader Peabody community. Now, applications for the Bachelor of Music in Hip Hop are now open, with classes set to begin, as I mentioned earlier, in the fall of 2025. Man, that is some cool ish right there. Where were these fun classes when I was in college? I don't know how to rap, but I sure would have wouldn't mind. Hey, let me learn. Let me learn the history. I mean, who wouldn't? Who that is so that is just I don't know. I just think that's dope. I just think that's really dope because I feel as though most. I mean, I'm not a music major, nor did I ever take music as an elective, but you have some teachers that really push out the different genres, and then you have some teachers that push up strictly theater music. You know what I mean? They don't really open the floor to folks and say, well, let's talk about the history of jazz. Let's talk about the history of country music. Let's talk about the history of gospel. Let's talk about the history of this. They never really share. I'm looking at looking at my hands a little ashy. It's the winter time, y'all. Don't judge me. Um, but I think that is I think that's pretty dope. I think it's really cool, especially when you see where older hip hop artists starts going. I mean, you know what I mean? Like Jay-Z obviously has been killing the game as a businessman. Same with Dr. Dre. LL Cool J garnered a huge career in film and television. Snoop Dogg, I mean, is every freaking where. He's the ultimate spokesperson. Um, there's so many. As crazy as he is, um, Kanye, better known as Ye. Ye is a tremendous business owner, fashion designer. He's made billions off of his brand and off his designs. So again, there's so many talented artists out there that are more than just musicians. Oh, Ice Cube. Sorry, Ice. I can't. I'm forgetting him. Ice Cube really became like the Spike Lee of film, specifically, hip hop and culture films. Like he has garnered a huge career, as well as in the sports world with the Big Three league. Um, let me digress from this, my friends, and move it on. This story really caught my attention because going into politics here, this one caught my attention because in my mind, I saw an individual that was doing the right thing, doing the true American thing, but yet he's criticized and now he's like shunned from his party. And let me actually bring you, let me see if I can find the soundbite from one of the most recent appearances that he did. Well, during the election season, let me try and find it. Gentleman by the name of Geoff Duncan. He's a former Georgia lieutenant governor, Republican. And where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where are you, Geoff? Where are you? I know I got you somewhere back here. I'm looking for that clip. Where's the clip, people? Looking for it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ah, here we go. All right. So, quick follow up. Geoff Duncan was one of the more vocal anti-Trump Republicans. He was so vocal and went public with it. He was a part of uh, uh, the original founders of Republicans for Harris. I believe he voted for Biden in the election as well, and then he ended up voting for Harris. Former lieutenant governor, Republican lieutenant governor from Georgia, one of the most reddest states in the United States. You hear me? One of the most reddest states. I mean, come on. The state of Georgia is what gave us Marjorie Taylor Greene. Ooh, ooh. That's a hot mess right there. Let me go ahead and play you this soundbite from when Geoff Duncan spoke at the DNC, and then we'll talk on the other side.
Our party acts more like a cult worshiping a felonious thug. Look, you don't have to agree with every policy position of Kamala Harris. I don't. But you do have to recognize her prosecutor mindset that understands right from wrong, good from evil. She's a steady hand and will bring leadership to the White House that Donald Trump could never do. Let me be clear to my Republican friends at home watching. If you vote for Kamala Harris in 2024, you're not a Democrat, you're a patriot. Our party acts more like a cult.
I mean, that was some very vocal info that he just spewed out right there. If you vote for Kamala Harris, that doesn't make you a Democrat. That makes you a patriot. There were so many Republicans that have been Republicans for years that end up voting for him. That doesn't make them a Democrat. That makes them a patriot. Now, it's funny why I bring this up because I had a conversation with one of my good friends who voted for Trump. I think he voted for him. This was the second time I voted for him. I would say he's more center right. And we have the back and forth because I'm an independent, registered independent. You can say I'm center left, but I voted both ways. I vote for my interest, for my best interest, and he's more, he votes more right. So I'm not calling him a conservative, but he leans more right. I'll just say that. And we were having a conversation about Trump's new administration, Trump's cabinet, and I just told him I get tired of hearing folks were saying he has the most diverse cabinet, right? Excuse me, most diverse administration. He has two former Democrats on his staff. Now, look, I do consider RFK still, has liberal views. Yes, he has his stance on the vaccines. He's been saying some off the wall stuff. I kind of see him now as almost like an opportunist. That's just my opinion. But I've never really had a huge dislike for RFK. Do I think he still has his liberal views? Hell, he's a Kennedy. I'm pretty sure he still has his liberal views. But again, I said opportunist. Now, former Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, on the other hand, to me, Tulsi left the party when she did not get the nomination for President of the United States. She was on the, I don't give an F tour. I'm, pissed with the Democrats. I'm going to continue to just bash them because they did not give me the proper respect or they did not choose me as their candidate. So I'm just going this tour bashing the party. To me, it's a little suspect when you countlessly stay on strong right wing networks or conservative networks since your presidency, since your campaign. The only thing you talk about is how the Democrats are this, Democrats that. That's all you do. That's all you do. Then you go on to leave the party and become an independent. Perfectly fine. I have nothing against that. But you're an independent for like a weekend, and then all of a sudden you come out and support Donald Trump, and then you come out at his rally and says, "I'm officially joined the Republican Party," and now she's a Republican. That's a little suspect. Just like Congressman out of Georgia, Vernon Jones, elected as a Democrat, was a Democrat the whole time. Then he spoke at the RNC supporting Donald Trump. Then he became this right wing nut, and now he's a Republican. I mean, to me, it's like that shows that okay, your easy ticket into office. Let me get elected as this because I have a better chance of winning as this. Because guys, that does exist. People do. That's a part of the strategy. Some folks, they might run as a Democrat, they might run as a Republican, but guess what? They're not really those. They're that. I mean, I'm sorry. There most people that do mean well, but there are some bad apples out there that are just like saying, "I'm in it for myself." And the more I hear Tulsi talk, the more I hear her values, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Now she's anti-war. Hey, who isn't anti-war? But to stay hold with that and say that's why I'm going to the Republican Party to me is blasphemous. All right. So the reason why I bring up Geoff Duncan because recently the Georgia Republican Party has expelled the former lieutenant governor. And I'm read you this article real quick by the Hill because I'm looking at my time. It says here that Georgia Republican Party has booted longtime President-elect Trump critic, former Lieutenant Governor Geoff Duncan, Republican, who backed Vice President Harris in 2024 bid for the White House. Now, a resolution from the Georgia GOP State Executive Committee featured in a recent release from the party stated that the former lieutenant governor is hereby expelled from the Georgia Republican Party. The Georgia Republican Party also said Duncan be referred to as expelled Republican Geoff Duncan or ousted Republican Geoff Duncan when you go to him for quotes trashing President Trump and the Republican Party in a media adversary posted to social media platform X. In a later response, Duncan said, "It is difficult to believe this is a good use of time for a party that only got limited amount of time to figure out mass deportation, world peace, and global terrorists." Another quote says here, "Learn how to take a victory lap, not light another dumpster fire." Duncan faced backlash, mentioned before. Okay, he faced backlash from fellow Republicans amid of the 2020 presidential election when he sided with Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, also Republican, over Trump in the election results. Duncan also spoke, that's a ride or die. That's supposed to do. How is that a bad thing, y'all? Duncan also spoke at the 2024, as I played you that clip, the DNC. The crazy thing about this story, y'all, is again, I use Tulsi Gabbard as an example. When she was on Fox, when she was on Newsmax, when she was mostly on Fox, when she was hosting Tucker Carlson's show, she was still a registered Democrat. The Democrat Party didn't say we're gonna oust you, we're gonna expel you. No, they said no, we'll keep you. But see, that's the I guess the Democratic Party of Hawaii. Michael Steele, he's a former lieutenant governor of Maryland. He's also a former RNC chair. He's still a registered Republican. He's been with MSNBC for years. He's, in my opinion, a critic of the Republican Party, but he considers himself a Lincoln Republican, more moderate. But to me, I'm like he's more like a progressive Republican in a sense. But he's still a registered Republican. No one has expelled them. See, Georgia's a different breed when it comes to Republicans. Ooh-wee. They are a different breed. And when you disrespect red, they're like, nope, 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 nope. But here's the funny thing, and I'll just leave it at this. Crazy old right-wing Vernon Jones tried to run for office as a Republican, thinking, oh, I'm a Trump loyalist. I've appeared dressing in the whole uniforms at his court cases. Oh, I'm his right-hand man. This is going to be an easy election win for me. Did they elect his ass? No. What is he doing now? Busy running his mouth on X. That's all that he does for a living at this point. And and is kissing the ring of Trump. I don't even know if he even goes to Mar-a-Lago and plays golf. I don't know, nor do I care. But all I can say is that, look, kudos to, I'll say it, Republican former lieutenant governor of Georgia, Geoff Duncan, for standing up for what's right and his values. Okay, now he's a commentator on CNN, and what he did was right, y'all. That's all I'm gonna leave it at that. What he did was right. You gotta start putting people over politics, and that's the issue right now in today's day and age. Is people are so gung ho on the whole back and forth. You got a D in front of your name, you got an R in front of your name. It's the whole back and forth. It's disgusting. It's annoying. It's old, and it's not the right solution. It's not a working solution either. It's not the norm. Majority of Americans are independents. We have conversations. We agree on 100%, probably majority of the stuff that we disagree on. But you just have so many folks that wants to keep division going because that brings ratings, that brings money in campaigns, that keeps people in office. The whole narrative, blase, 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 blase. But y'all, I'm gonna just say this. I hope that here on this show we help change that. We're not that large, but we hope to get large with the help of you. Y'all be sure to continue to tune to the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Fridays, Monday through Fridays, on all digital and streaming platforms, wherever you listen to your podcast, as well as on the streaming platforms of YouTube and Rumble. Be sure also to listen to us on our radio affiliate, WDJY 99.1 FM, straight talk out of the Metro Atlanta area, Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m., as well as online at WDJYFM.com. Y'all take care, my friends. Peace and blessings. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out.